What's up, guys? It's the Power Up Mushroom, and I know what like you guys are thinking. Power Up Mushroom, where you been? Hey, I'm a father of 3 now. I just had my first daughter in no, not March, May. So she's what, 2 months old now? She's going on 3. So yeah, that happened. So fatherhood, parenthood. I haven't really been able to like do games or review games recently, but stuff is starting to ease down. Her time schedule's like fixing itself. I'm getting a new job, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's all working out in the end. But I have this game I need to talk to you guys about. And by the title of the video, you can see it. It's Terminator-Resistance. Now, before I start this review, I'm gonna just go right into it, like just by saying, this game makes me realize how spoiled most of us really are, or like actually all the gamers like right now, how spoiled we really are with all these games with their high-tech graphics, their animations, like everything. It makes me realize that if you're feeling like, hey, we don't have like, there's no games out right now, or like all the games they look the same, you know what? I'd say give Terminator Resistance a shot. I'm not trying to like say that this game is something that's not, well, actually, you know what? It isn't. This is not a AAA game. This is a game you can tell was made by some developers and very talented people who had a concept and a really low budget, but they went and they executed it. And for what they have and what, the resources they were given, I think that they did this game perfectly. So if like a game where like you guys want to play, that if you think like the game needs to have the best graphics, the best gameplay, the best like everything, you know what, you're probably not going to find it here, and you should probably just move on. But for the rest of the people who are going to sit here and listen to this review, I think you guys, if you're a fan of the Terminator universe, give this game a shot, because I think there's a real hidden gem on our hands here that just flew under the radar, under everybody's radar. Don't expect this game to be like a AAA experience that, that's out there like a God of War or something, but it is a game that I think is worth playing for, like I said, Terminator fans and just people trying to look for a new game. Now this game, if I'm correct, it came out right around the time Dark Fate came out, and let me just say, I'm a huge Terminator fan. I've been a Terminator fan since probably I was like 6, when I saw the first movie with my grandfather, and then I'm not that old. I was not born in the 80s, but I did see a lot of the older movies when I was young. And yeah, Terminator 1 and 2, those movies were like, it just blew my mind. Even like to this day, like the kind of effects that movie or directors, what they use and stuff, I pay attention to that a lot in my movies, and the talent that goes behind it. Like, it's a lot of work, and to capture what they did back then, it's just mind-blowing. And when I was little, I always thought the Terminator universe was like, it was one of the coolest universes, and it's one of those that like, it's never really been expanded upon. Let me say, if you're a Terminator fan and you saw Dark Fate, let me tell you, go buy this game. Out the box of this review, if you haven't played Terminator Resistance and you are a huge Terminator fan, like I'm talking, you've always wanted a Terminator movie that's set in future war or something, go play this game. If Dark Fate left you with a sour, bitter taste that is just disgusting, and you're just like, get it out, go play Terminator Resistance. This game, oh my goodness. Like I said, granted, it's not perfect. It's not a AAA game. It's really budgeted. But let me just say, for people who are willing to give this game a shot, I think you guys will really enjoy it. First off, I'm going to start at the very beginning. My first impressions of this game when I first booted it up. Well, first of all, when I saw the game, it was just on PlayStation Store, and I wasn't able to grab a physical copy. Now people are freaking running the physical copy up for like over $100. On Amazon, I saw it for like 37 or something. I'm going to try to get it, but I don't know if it's one of those scams where it's just like, here's the code, because that's happened to me before. But if I could get my hands on a physical copy, I will, and I will pay extra money for it, because that's how much I really love this game. But anyways, right off the bat, when you boot up the game, you know, you have the logos and all that stuff, blah. The title screen pops up, and it's just a still image. I know, like I said, they are budgeted, but you know, I do like the cover art for this game better than that still image. Why couldn't they do the still image, or why not have the Terminators or like the T-800s like just walking slowly with their guns and like just shooting like in slow motion, something similar to like what Halo Reach did, where it had like pictures or they pan out and you hear like sounds of blast going on in the background.
No, I'm just looking at this title menu. It's so basic. I can't tell if that's a still image or a 3D image. And
who's that?
This image of the Terminator for the menu, I can't tell if this is a still image or like a 3D model.
Hold up, I'm watching your stream.
If they would have done that, I would have been fine, but it's just a still image of a Terminator, like a T-800, and it's just kind of like looking directly at you. And I don't think it's animated because it doesn't move, which, I mean, Terminators, I don't think they move, they're robots, but yeah, it just sits there and looks at you in the title screen. It's really cheap. I really think that they could have done something better with it, but the music, when that theme song for the Terminator movie, like for the Terminator franchise, when that theme song kicks in, it has to be like one of the best renditions of the Terminator theme. I've heard the Terminator theme in Salvation, Genesis, I think, yeah, it was Genesis. I didn't hear it for Dark Fate. I don't remember much of that movie, but let me just say that like when that theme kicks in, they should be using that theme for the movie. This rendition of the Terminator theme is spot on, and I think it's probably one of the best ones. So whoever did the music for this game, I'm gonna just say straight up kudos, because the music throughout the entire game, it really drew me in. Like, it drew me into this story. You start off the game, and obviously you notice right away the character models. As far as like humans go, I'm gonna just say straight up, the humans, they don't look that great. They look something pulled off right out of the 360 or PS3 era. I'm talking like mid PS3, Xbox 360, because even some of the character models in those older games, they look good, but the human characters, they're gonna look like a little bit still in their faces. I'd say I'd compare it to Fallout, maybe Fallout 4. They look like those kind of characters, which isn't too bad, but it's fairly noticeable that the graphics on this game, some parts are dated.
He just won't listen. I'm not going. Leave me alone.
I think it's ThePowerUpMushroom. Dude, this kid's voice is pretty deep for looking like a 6-year-old. My choices matter. Quit crying, kid.
Don't have time for this, kid. Quit your crying and let's go.
Okay.
Oh,
Coming.
damn, my choices matter?
Guess that's one way to do it. I'm Jennifer, by the way.
Who's our heads? I'll be on the fucking lookout for tin cans. Aaron, you do what you think is best for Mark. I'll see what I can do about the bus. Jacob, it might take a while, so can you look inside and see if it's safe to stay?
Right at the beginning of the game, you know, you're in this war, you have Terminators like just shooting at people, and then like this guy's like, hey, you gotta get up, you know, and gotta come and help us or whatever, finding the resistance or whatever, and then the Terminator just picks him up and just blasts him right in the chest. And then, dude, these Terminators, they look great. Like, let me just say, if any time was spent on this game, it was to the enemies. These enemies, they look as real as, like, not real, but you know what I mean. They look really good. They're the best part of the game. The Terminators, man, they got them right, like spot on to that. Then this game continues to, you know, introduces you. You hear a voice from like a radio, and he's telling you what to do and everything. And right off the bat, I'm gonna just say the voice acting, it's pretty mediocre. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But it gets the job done. And in my opinion, the voice acting does tend to get better as the story progresses. So after about like the first hour and a half, you know, you get introduced to some of the characters. And let me just say, like, for the first part of the game, I was a little bit scared because it is kind of boring. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the first hour and a half, it's just like, oh yeah, you go through all the controls, all these robots, Terminators, or like, you know, the Skynet machines that are flying, those walkers and all that. They're all pushovers. They're really easy to defeat, let alone you defeat them with bullets. You have the silverfish that pop out of the ground, and then, you know, they kind of roll towards you and explode, but they're easy to kill. At the very beginning of this game, like, I realized, like, yo, we gotta put it on extreme difficulty. even at extreme difficulty, this game was fairly easy at the beginning. So after the first hour and a half, I'm gonna tell you right when you get to this part, it's a whether like you like it or you don't. But for most people that I've been looking at online, everyone loves it. I love it. I thought it was perfect. Right, there's this part in the game where you get to the hospital and you finally realize like, hey, these Terminators, they're like doing something to people or whatever. You can see like some people are on like a table dissected, or like this guy's getting dragged by a Terminator to like some base or whatever.
What if it's a Terminator? What if it's a T-800?
Because there are sources in Disney that are saying that that's going to do it, and of course they're not going to necessarily admit that they are. But like it does sound like there's a divided faction in Lucasfilm. You have some people use it to insert their politics.
Yo, is this fool dead?
I guess so.
You don't shoot these Terminators with your guns because like bullets, they don't do nothing to Terminators. Specifically T-800s, they don't do jack.
This is what I signed up for. Oh. I
learned that the hard way, and I try running. I run away from these Terminators because I realize, hey, my gun's not doing any damage. The health bar is still full. And they start shooting at me with these plasma lasers. So I run into this freaking operating table room and I try to get in the vent. But these Terminators start looking for you. And these Terminators, dude, this Terminator, like, literally, he got on his knee and he just he pointed his gun in the vent right where I was, and he started shooting at me, and it just scared the crap out of me. From that point on, I realized that, the T-800s, they're going to be a force to reckon with. So, throughout the game, if you're playing on extreme difficulty, which I will say it is recommended, watch out for the T-800s, because the T-800s, sometimes I'm going to just say straight up, the AI is kind of dumb or stupid. But the T-800s, like, you don't know when the AI is going to be dumb or when it's going to act right. I mean, sometimes you'll walk around the corner and the T-800 will just start looking for you, and then it'll just kind of like walk away. But then sometimes this T-800 will just like kind of start walking towards you and start, working, to your position. So like I said, right off the bat, Terminator T-800s, I think they were done well in this game. There's nothing I would like change other than probably like the AI. Like I said, the AI is probably like, it's a little dumb sometimes. But yeah, right when you get to that hospital part, there's gonna be a lot of tension. It almost felt like I was playing Alien Isolation, which I gotta say, look, Taeyon, if you're ever gonna do another Terminator game, do something similar to that. Like, I would love that, or I'm pretty sure a lot of people would, but I do like this story that they did, and I think they can do another one. If they continue to do them, I would love to see it. In this game, you have your crafting, you have your, you can craft, lock picking skills. There's this little Frogger mini game you use to like hack, turrets. There's a lot of little knickknacks and things that this developer put into this game. Not that I say it's like a jumbled up mess, but it's something that like, hey, like they tried to make a progression system and everything. And like I said, not a big budget game, but for what they did, this game does right. It does a really good job. As you talk to more people, you're going to realize that in this game, choices matter. And I beat the game. I beat the game 3 times already, by the way. And yeah, your choices do matter in this game. And they do something at the end that I really do like. And I can't talk because it's spoiler territory, because this game takes place right before Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. For all those people out there like me who have been waiting to see a future war, a real future war, not Salvation future war. We're talking 2029 future war. This game has it. I think they nailed the future war in this game perfectly. And if Hollywood ever does another Terminator movie, I want to see this. This would have been a good Terminator movie by itself. Stop focusing on John Connor and Sarah Connor and all those. No, show us before, like the Resistance fighting. And that's what this game gives us. It gives us a lot of backstory. It gives us a lot of like Resistance leaders, people just trying to survive, and it, like I said, it does a really good job. As you progress through the levels, you're going to notice that these levels, they are semi-open worldish. They kind of throw you in a level and then it's open world to it. I'd compare it to maybe something like if you play Final Fantasy VII Remake or The Witcher 3. If you played those kind of games, it's an area with a big open like space for you to play in or whatever. And there's going to be, let me just say, Terminators are everywhere in this game. Like, they make sure that you know that this is an invasion. Like, of Terminators hunting and killing people for no reason and capturing them. And they do a really good job capturing, like, the moments in these games. You have your side missions, your side quests, and let me just say that there's one side quest I didn't really find any interest in, but for most of the characters, if you guys sit back and relax and enjoy this game, like you just chill, let the game do its job, these characters do get pretty interesting as time goes on. Like there was a few side quests where I was playing at the very beginning and I was just like, oh yeah, you know, it's the typical, oh, I lost my husband story, blah, blah, blah. No, as the game goes on and they start to expand on these stories, you start to find clues for specific characters and stuff, or they'll tell you like, hey, I heard you're going into this area. Can you do this errand for me real quick? Or can you check for me, like if there's something here? It's small things like this that like, I really did grow attached to the characters. I like the characters and the ones they introduced in this game. And like I said, by the end, the dialogue and the acting, like I said, is mediocre, but it gets the job done. And by the end of this game, I really did find myself caring about quite a few of these characters that I came across. Now, for all you musicians out there, I'm gonna just say straight up, yo, the soundtrack for this game, oh my god. Like, I think I said it earlier, but man, the soundtrack in this game, it has a real 80s vibe punch. Like if you're looking for synths and like these 80s guitar, like, you know, like 20, like it's so good. It is so great, especially with the environments that they've created in this game. There are some environments, I will say straight up, it looks ugly. The moon like shining down at night, because most of your scavenger runs are going to be at night. It really captures that 80s Terminator movie vibe. And like you see all the purple lasers shooting everywhere. Purple or blue, whatever, they look the same color to me. And you have like all these walkers, you know, the Terminators just patrolling places, the silverfishes, the spider things, like they're everywhere. And it just feels like, you know, like this invasion is taking place right in front of you, and it looks great. The metal on these Terminators just shine. The moon reflects off of them. The moon reflects off your gun. The lighting and all that stuff, I think, is really good. If you pay attention to the textures, you can tell that these textures, they aren't highly detailed. But one thing I think that the studio got right to kind of make up for that lack of, you know, like they didn't have that production value to make that good of environments, like say like the rocks, they're all like the floor is like all one texture or something like that. They made it to where like the lighting works in their favor, to where almost sometimes I just didn't notice it. The battles that happen, you hardly notice like any of the textures on the ground or anything. It's not like you're paying attention to that. You're paying attention to the Terminators. Yes, there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs in this game for Terminator 1 and 2. So if you guys aren't like fully versed in the Terminator like universe, I don't know if you're going to get much out of this game, because a lot of this stuff that when I was playing this game, a lot of it came from like just me knowing the movies and knowing what they're talking about. If it came from somebody who's just getting introduced, like if you were just a random who picked up the game, you might like the game, you might like the universe. You will know what they fight for if you read all the notes and pay attention to every little piece of dialogue. But really, this game, you can tell it was made by Terminator fans for Terminator fans. I've been praising this game a lot, but I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start talking about some of the negatives I have in this game, which there are some, but like I said, I'm cutting it like a lot of slack. Like I said, it's not a big production game, you know, and it's not a full price $60 game. One, I'm going to say straight up, right when you play the game and you pick up that gun and you start aiming at enemies, you'll notice that the aiming is really stiff. You know, sometimes I don't have a problem with it. Like here, I didn't have a problem aiming at enemies or anything, but it does feel weird that like these weapons that you're carrying around, they don't have a lot of weight to it. Like if you play Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, or you play like, Destiny didn't really do it, but I'll give an example like Halo. When you pick up the rocket launcher, in Halo, you see like kind of the weight, like just kind of like sits down on Master Chief's soldier. You have like this big Gatling gun in Modern Warfare. You kind of see the struggle between the soldier when he's like reloading and how you can tell it's really heavy and slow. In this game, it doesn't really do that. It felt like a lot of the weapons, they felt like plastic when they were reloading. Specifically, the shotgun, it felt real fake. It felt like I was playing with a plastic toy. But that gun does do a lot of damage to the drones that fly in this game. As far as like sound effects go, hey, the sound effect department, you know, whoever did the recording for the sound effects, like the gun shooting and everything, I gotta say it was a pretty good job. It was really faithful to the source material. I felt like I was in the Terminator universe. Nothing in this game really broke my immersion, except for a couple of parts. That for me is like so far like all the negatives I have for the game. I can't really like, you know, I'm not gonna tear this game down. I could. We could talk about how imperfect the aiming is, how the HUD doesn't make sense, how the crafting and the stuff, like it was all kind of shoehorned in there, and it doesn't, like you really didn't need any of that stuff, but it's there for people who want to, like, you know, continue to upgrade their weapons and stuff. And weapon upgrading, I do like how they added to where you can get these chips, but these chips have to kind of match inside your gun. They have to like be compatible. I do like that. That was a really good choice. I feel like they can expand on that like more if they ever do another game. But yeah, like a lot of the stuff, like the lock picking was pulled right out of a Bethesda game. Really, this game feels like it was a lot of stuff crammed into something. Like they got the best of, you know, lock picking and like hacking and stuff. They just put it in there. But it's part of the charm of this game, and it's one of those things to where I feel like this game wouldn't be that good of a game if it didn't have these things. Even though it has its flaws, the flaws, like I said, it kind of gives it that charm that made me keep playing. I think, like I said in the beginning of this video, I said I think we've been spoiled so much to where we need these like the best animations and the best guns. We kind of forgot that a lot of our older games that we used to play back on the PS2 or the Nintendo 64, I'm going that far back because the Super Nintendo and the NES, those were side scrollers, and you know what I mean. Like we're talking about 3D games, but when those games were introduced, like for the 64, the PlayStation 2, and the Xbox 360, I mean, back then we were kind of grateful that we had a game that was faithful to our universe. Let's just say SpongeBob for Bikini Bottom, not a great game. Battle for Bikini Bottom is not a great game. It's not a masterpiece. But for kids who played that game, they enjoyed it. Crash Bandicoot, the original one on the PlayStation. It's not, you know, it's dated. But you play the remake now and it's a lot better. But I mean, those games back then, they had a charm to them. Even though there was a lot of flaws, because they're not perfect now, they did something right. This Terminator game, I say that it does a lot right. Like it feels faithful to the source material, and really that's all that mattered to me. It was like it being faithful to the source material. I felt like I was in a Terminator universe. It felt like it was expanding upon a story that I've never heard of. Like you never really heard of. It'd be like them expanding on Rogue One, or not Rogue One. It'd be them like expanding on Star Wars, but it's Rogue One. That's what I'd compare it to. This is the Rogue One of the Terminator universe, and to me, like it was really good. I loved it. I love the game. I love the story. So for people who want to play this game, or like Terminator fans, yo, Terminator fans, play this game. Just play it, and then tell me what you guys think about it in the ending, or if you have played it, let me know. Comment down below. For people who do make it past the first hour and a half, I think you guys are going to find a great game. And for Terminator fans, as the story goes on, you'll start noticing like these little snippets and like these Easter eggs, and you notice that like in this game you do play a bigger part in the Terminator universe, and I think that's what really made this game so good, because the climax of this game is really good. It has a nice end to the game, and it was really satisfying. And like I said, if you guys can give it a chance, I'm just asking you guys, give this game a chance, because this game was not advertised much. It was something that, like I said, it was real low budget. I don't think they had the money to advertise it, and it just kind of went under everybody's radar. Look, I just don't want what happened to the Transformers games. Like Transformers Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron, they're gone. If you have physical copies, keep them, because you can't buy them digitally no more. Like as far as I know, they're not anywhere on any like platform store. You can't play those games anymore. You can't play them online. I don't want this game to go away so early. I think this game needs to be played. And then if it goes away so early, like if they can't afford to pay the license to keep the game up, then you're gonna have to go and get a physical copy. And like I said, people are already like, they're scalping these physical copies. I wasn't able to get my hand on one. Just imagine when it's announced that, hey, Terminator-Resistance, it's not coming because we couldn't afford it, so we're gonna take it off the store. It's gonna be a really unfortunate event. And I would hate to see that happen. So if you guys can, go and play the game. If you guys don't want to play the game, watch someone else play it. Because like I said, I feel like for Terminators fans, there's something here. And I hope, Taeyeon, I hope they can see this video. I hope that, you know, for some reason, like they're watching these reviews to make another game, but I think they can make it better. There's a lot of things I think I would add to this game. Like, you know what? It's kind of cliche, but they could have added a horde mode, co-op, 4-player co-op, your resistance leaders, make separate maps. It'd be really cool to fight Terminators with your friends. You know what? Hey, try to go to another studio, or like, you know, kind of try to sell it. But like that concept of this Terminator game was really well put, and with what they had, I think they did a bang up job. So for Terminator Resistance, I'm gonna just say straight up, it's probably not my game of the year, but it does make my top 10 games I've played this year. It really is. And if no other game comes along, like Ghost of Tsushima, if that game isn't that good, then this game probably will be game of the year. But like I said, I really enjoyed this game. No matter how much people bang it up or like they say, oh, it's a terrible game, all the mechanics suck, I really loved it. And I think that's all that matters. If you like a game, don't be afraid to say it. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I like this game even though it's trash. If this game is trash, well, I'm just saying, like I said, I loved it. And to me, it's not trash. It's one of my favorite games. And I continue, even though I platinum the game. I don't do that to every game. I platinum the game because one, yeah, it was easy, but I love the game. I went back and got the other trophies. So yeah, there you go. So anyways, that concludes my review for this Terminator game. I'll probably have like little footage play, like, or whatever. But please, if you guys have played this game, let me know what you think about it. Comment below. I want to have a discussion with people who have played this game. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think they could have improved? I can think of a few parts like the gunplay and stuff, but let me know what you guys thought of the game, what you'd add or whatever in the comment section below. Like I said, hopefully Teon Games, I hope they see this video, because I tweeted them and they retweeted, you know, my tweet saying that I was going to make a video on it. I just hope that they see the video, or at least, you know, they did get back to me on my Twitter messenger, which was really cool. I did not expect that. So that's what pushed me to make this review. Like, I'm pushing this review out because the studio came in contact and they said they really appreciate it. Like I said, I just thought it was really cool. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, comment. I was gonna say upvote on Vidme, but that does not exist anymore. Anyways, remember, when you guys are gaming, power up.